Hello, friends. We're here with Wally. It's been about a week. It's time to check on our worms. I have left them wrapped up, and I actually really like this new method of just clipping this extra cloth up. It helps nicely wrap the sides, so hopefully no bugs can get in. So we are going to pull the top two layers off because the bottom layer is empty. That's the one we harvested. And then we'll take these off, we'll stack them on the floor, and then we'll look at this one. Actually, just kidding, I forgot. I harvested, and then I was going to put it down at the bottom, and then I said, oh no, next time I feed, I'll move it down here. So this is tier 1 that we have started starving out. It looks like they've made some good progress working on some of the existing bedding, but there's still a lot of guys in here. I'm not going to disrupt them too much because I want them to work on all of their food, but this is tier 1. So what I'm going to do is take the empty tier 2, put that underneath tier 1, so we'll have emptiest one on the bottom, and then we will keep stacking from there. And not that I think we're going to have any extra moisture, but this empty layer, I just threw some shredded cardboard paper on it just in case anybody does fall down there, or liquids do fall down, they'll get absorbed instead of being standing in water. So tier 1, I'm not going to fuss with. I'm going to let it keep being broken down. Tier 4 here is the one that we just started, and the one that we're hoping the worms are going to migrate up into. So they got their first feeding over here last time. You can see by the worms that's true. Oh yeah. All right, well, I don't actually see any food really left here, so I will let them just carry on. So that's pretty great. So I was looking at my notes, and when I started this tier, I had put a cluster of strawberry pits or tops up here just to get them moving. And then last week I just fed them one piece of frozen squash over here. So the next feeding I think I'm going to do is over here. Wally was like, oh, chance of feeding? I'll come help. Hey, yo, Wally. Are you going to check the food for them? Is this okay for them? Okay. Wally says it's okay. So these are still frozen, but I know that there's not really any worms over in this corner because I never fed over here. So I'm just going to move most of the dirt out of the way. Compost. Bedding. And I'm just going to take one of the apple cores that are on top and just throw that down here. And then I have, these are still pretty frozen, so let's see if I can get them out. Nope. Not today. These are pretty frozen. So maybe I can break off some of the juices here. Unfortunately, I froze this and then defrosted it, and then ended up refreezing it because it was too late to feed them. Although, should we just feed? No, I don't think we should feed them this whole thing. That seems a bit excessive, at least for this layer. Instead, I'm going to use this frozen squash that they've already been eating on the other side. And I'll just put a couple little pieces in. And then this nice big topper piece. So that's a little bit more food than they got last time, but there's not a tremendous number of them over here either. So the last thing I want to do is overfeed them. So I'm going to go ahead and bury that. And then I will take my paper towel that's been previously gently used and put that in here. And we'll just use that as our covering for where they were. And then, because I disrupted this side over here, I might just put a little sprinkling of bedding on top. So that way they have a little covering from potential bugs that might come in. So that brings us to tier 3, your last layer. And last time I got front right area got squash, frozen squash. And then this left area got rolls with they got a roll with rolls of, or the roll had berries and all sorts of little scraps and whatnot in it. So before, and this is our longest running bin then. So you can see there's obviously a deficit here where they've been working. Oh yeah. There's a party. Oh, they're still working on this squash still. Okay. All right, they're doing good in there. And let's see over here where this roll is. It's still there, although it's much more hollowed out. Okay. They're still working. So I think what I want to do is, now that I've thought about it, I'm going to take, I'm going to look in this corner over here and see how this corner is. Because I want to find a spot. Okay, so this is still being worked on a little bit. Let's see this corner. Okay, they still got a roll over here they're working on. It's just the outside of the roll. There's not really any food in there for them. What I want to do is I want to feed them again. So I'm going to just give them a little bit of squash over here in this corner. Okay, this is, all right, a little chunk. Part of a chunk. And they're still frozen, so it's kind of hard to break them apart. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe my hand off briefly. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to cover it back up as much as possible without being too difficult. And then, given how much moisture those have in it, I'm going to just take this paper towel over here. And then I have more paper towels. I will just squash over there. And I'm going to put some in this corner since this so clearly has a lot of squash and I just did that and it's not really covered. All right. So that one's doing pretty good. So feeling good about the feeding levels and what they're processing. I'm really hoping that once tier 1 gets starting to migrate up to tier 4 here, we'll start being able to give them more food, because I would love to be able to just put this whole frozen section in and let them work on it over a longer period of time. But I don't think any of 3 or 4 have enough work. Well, tier 3 might have enough worms to do it, but they're still working on their food that they have. And tier 4 definitely doesn't have enough worms, so we must wait. But for now, worms are good and happy, and we don't have any bug problems, thank goodness.